Good day everyone, my name is Alex and welcome to a new review. For today I have a very cheap action camera from China called the FuriBee Q6, and I honestly don't know where they got that name from. So when I say super cheap, this camera costs under $40 at the time of this video. So yeah, that is very cheap for an action camera. Inside this we have an all-winner V3 processor, but I wasn't able to find any information about the image sensor, so that's a bit unknown. So let's start with a very quick unboxing. The box looks very similar to the boxes that we've seen for past action cameras from China. On the front we see a couple of pictures and some features of the camera. On one of the sides we are gonna see some mounts and whatever comes in the box, and on the back we are gonna find the specifications for the camera itself. As soon as we open the box, we're going to find the waterproof case and the camera. So the waterproof case is the same waterproof case that we've seen for past action cameras from China. I did place this in a cup of water and there was no water going in, so I guess it's good enough to take swimming. The manufacturer says that the waterproof case is good up to 30 meters. Aside from that, we are going to find the user manual. The user manual, it's in English, it's got some instructions, and you can also find the app that works with your smartphone in that user manual, so it could be useful. Aside from that, we are going to find a whole bunch of mounts, straps and stickers, so you can basically place the camera anywhere. You can even place it on a bicycle if you want, on a helmet or anything like that. You're also going to find the charger and the cable. And moving to the camera itself, it's very small and it looks a lot like a GoPro 3, a GoPro 4, something like that. So very small in size. So on the front we are going to find the power button. You're also going to find an LED light, so you can use that while recording, and of course the lens. On top of the camera you're just going to find the OK button or the recording button, and another LED light that's going to show you whenever you're recording or whenever you're charging the camera. Onto the left you're going to find two buttons, so you can zoom in or zoom out with these two buttons, or you can move through menus, so very simple to use. On the other side of the camera you're going to find the microphone, the HDMI out, a charging port which is a micro USB charging port, and a TF card slot, and I was able to use a 64 gig SD card in this camera. And all the way at the bottom of the camera you're going to find a little plastic door, and if you remove that you can take out the battery. So inside this camera we have a 900 milliamp battery, and you're going to be able to record for about an hour at 1080p at 60 frames per second. So that should be more than enough for pretty much anyone. And I know that some of you are interested in this. You can actually record with this camera while it's charging. So if you have a power bank or something like that with you, you can still record whenever the camera is charging. On the back we have a 2-inch LCD display that doesn't have the best resolution or viewing angles. This screen is also made out of plastic, so it's very easy to scratch. Wherever you place the camera down, you're most likely going to get a scratch on this screen. So the screen doesn't get that bright either, so you may have a couple of problems seeing the screen if you are outside in bright daylight. When you first turn on this camera, it takes a bit till it actually starts up, so it's not the absolute fastest camera that I've seen there. With the mode button on the front or the power button, you can switch in between video recording, picture recording, slow motion recording, or watching whatever you have recorded on the camera. Pressing that button one more time will actually take you to the settings app of the camera. As for the settings app is fairly simple. We don't have gyro stabilization available on this camera, and that's quite normal because this is very cheap. For video recording settings, again, we don't have that many options. You can change the recording resolution, and this camera can record in 4K, but keep in mind that like most of these action cameras from China, it doesn't actually record in 4K. It's just an interpolated recording, so in reality you're not recording in 4K. We also have some settings for picture taking, and again, not that many settings, and we do have a setting for driving. Basically what that means is that you can actually use this camera as a dash cam, so whenever the car starts up, the camera will start recording, and whenever you turn off the car, the camera will stop recording. So I guess it could be a useful feature for some of you. Other than that, we can choose different languages, but overall the settings app doesn't have that many options. And of course, one of the most important features of any action camera is the quality of the recording. So the first thing I notice is the fact that the audio is not in sync with the actual recording, and that is unfortunate. Of course, you could edit that in a video editor and basically move back or forward the sound, but that shouldn't happen. And here is an example so you can see what I'm talking about.
What's up everyone, I'm Alex and this is a quick microphone test to this new camera that I'm testing out. So I'm holding the camera in my hand and I believe that the microphone is sitting on that side. There is no other noise and the windows are also closed. So this is how the microphone sounds.
And moving on from the sound that's a bit out of sync, for nighttime recordings, this camera, as you'd probably expect, doesn't do that amazing. So here is some footage recorded at nighttime while I was driving and while I was walking. And I saved the best for last, of course, the daytime recording. So in daytime this camera does much better than in nighttime, and that's quite normal for these cheap action cameras from China. And here are a couple of examples of some daytime driving and some daytime walking and so on. The unfortunate part is that this camera doesn't have gyro stabilization, so whenever you are walking the camera, the footage is gonna be kind of wobbly, but other than that I think that it looks decent for daytime recordings. This camera also has Wi-Fi, so you can connect to this camera with your smartphone, and to do that you just have to turn on the Wi-Fi network, connect to the Wi-Fi network and then open the app. The app is very simple, it gives you the ability to change some options there and start recording right from the phone. You can also see whatever it's available on the camera saved on the SD card. So the app is useful and it works about 10 meters away from the camera. So to conclude this video, the FuriBee Q6 is a super cheap action camera from China. I mean, for that price you can't really expect that much, but this would do okay for some day-to-day recording here and there on a bicycle or going skiing or anything like that. So for that purpose, if you're just planning to have a couple of clips with whatever you did and not worry if you're gonna lose the camera, if you're gonna break the camera, I think this is worth that $37–40 how much this camera is at this time. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did like it, press that like button, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.